Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bored and Annoyed. I'm Jackson.
And I am home at the movies.
And this week we have First Man and Bad Times at the El Royale.
It was a real bad time. Actually, it wasn't.
No, it certainly wasn't.
Bored and Annoyed. Going into movie news, though, we got some real cool cats with movies coming up soon. Like Cats.
Not just us.
Yeah, not just us. No, Cats is actually getting a live-action movie with what? Idris Elba, Ian
McKellen, and Taylor Swift are the three I've heard.
Good old T Swift.
Now, I'm a cat guy, but I don't know anything about cats. Besides, we had two cats growing up, Gus and Jenny, and one of them was named after Asparagus Blackspot, I think was the cat's character's name.
Oh.
And then there was a Jenny Annie Dutz.
Okay.
Who was, I don't know if she was like a character or just sang about or whatever, but they're both cats references. So.
You're spitting some stuff that I can't pick up because I don't even know.
Everyone can thank La La Land and The Greatest Showman because now all of a sudden it's make your musicals.
Make your musical.
Yep.
You think Idris Elba? I'm assuming Idris Elba can sing if he's getting this role.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what kind of a role it is. Maybe he's just like a.
Maybe they're making it not a musical.
There's been actors who can't sing,
right?
Like from what I've heard, I never saw Les Mis, but I hear Russell Crowe was pretty terrible.
Yeah, he was not good. He was not good.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
He was really not good.
Yeah, so I'm going to avoid that one because I don't need any negative.
That whole movie sucks, in my opinion.
Okay.
I hated it.
I think there was an old one with Liam Neeson or something that I saw, and I don't know if it was a musical or not, but I remember watching. Like, it's like a World War II era story, right? I'm going to look like a total jackass here.
Well, Les Mis?
I don't know anything about it.
No, it's like during the French Revolution.
Oh, there you go. See?
Yeah.
There you go.
I can't remember much of it because I just sort of blocked it out of my mind.
Right, but anyway, Cats.
Cats, yeah.
There you go. How excited are you for Cats?
I mean, every time I see Cats, I think of the Thundercats, and then I get a little upset that we haven't had a live-action Thundercats movie. So I guess... if this proves that we can have cat people in film, I'm more excited than I should be, maybe.
Well, take solace in the fact that if they did make a Thundercats movie, it would be terrible.
It probably would. Yeah. It would be right along the level of Transformers, I would assume.
Right.
But those aren't the only cats that are getting their own live-action film. Tom and Jerry is getting a live-action movie.
I do not know what you can do in a feature-length Tom and Jerry film. I don't understand.
I mean, maybe like Tom's addicted to like catnip or something, and we can do like some sort of, we can make it like a metaphor for life. Like Jerry's like the elite who always taunts and gets away with things, and Tom's the downtrodden.
Okay, so live action, you said, right? So are they going to do like the Garfield thing where like there's like a cartoon cat surrounded by real people? Or are they going to like use a real cat?
Who is in that Garfield movie as like the live action stand-in? Like
Breckin Meyer.
Okay.
And Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Okay.
And then the cat was Bill Murray.
Okay.
And then Odie, who's like the most cartoony looking character in the show, is just like a fucking dog.
It's just a regular dog.
Yeah, it was dumb.
Yep. I think you're right. I think they're going to do like a Smurf type thing.
Oh, Christ.
Yep. Yeah. It's not going to be Smurfs as in like Smurfs coming from another land. It's just going to be like, oh, hey, here's this guy and his weird cartoon pets.
His CGI pets, right?
Yeah. And isn't it wacky how like, I don't even remember. Who is that? Neil Patrick Harris. Look at Neil Patrick Harris run around trying to deal with the problem.
I want to say in the old Tom and Jerry cartoons, it was a woman who
It was an older
cat,
woman.
And like you never saw her, you just saw her legs.
Yeah, it was always like, at the most it was like neck down, I feel.
Yeah, so if they're going to do it, that's how they should do it.
Yeah.
They should do, I mean, it just sounds, there's no plot. There's just
Jerry
pissing Tom off and Tom trying to catch Jerry. There's no like backstory to the characters or anything.
They should get Academy Award winner Meryl Streep to play the old
woman.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
That's how you get everybody invested.
Yeah, well, they would have to find some way to nominate her for an Oscar for this.
She would get a nomination for something as stupid as this, too.
As the legs in Tom and Jerry.
But you know what didn't have legs?
What?
Iron Fist.
Yeah, I know. You were probably,
It got canceled.
really happy about that.
I'm so happy.
So finally, we can feel like they're not just going to keep making these, because if they start failing, they will cancel them.
Right. Yeah, that's sort of where I'm at. And I go back and forth because I'm like, I wonder if this is Disney is going to have its own streaming service soon, and Netflix is kind of preparing for that Marvel and Netflix deal to be over. I think that's part of it. And also, I think Iron Fist just sucked and its ratings sucked and nobody was interested. So, yay for it being over.
Now, is the character going to still stick around?
Well, that was
I would assume.
That was their press release. Iron Fist may be canceled, but the immortal Iron Fist lives on. So
he's still around to ruin other Netflix shows that they make.
Oh, yeah. He's going to pop up in Luke Cage, ruin all of that.
Great.
Not that you
They're
can
probably
ruin
going to have
that.
to use him more in the other stuff now to make up for the fact that he doesn't have his own show.
Probably. I wish that they would just cancel Luke Cage and just have done Heroes for... Well, in all honesty, I wish they would just cancel all of them, because the only one that's consistently good is Daredevil.
I would like to see another Punisher season.
Oh, that too.
But that doesn't even need to be connected. That can just be its own thing.
It can. And actually, the Punisher works better when he's not part of like a team,
Right. He's a fucking lunatic.
Yes.
Pissed off. Yeah, he's good.
Well, and it makes you question the people that team up with him too, because you're like,
right.
That's a mass murderer. Like, yeah, he kills bad people, but he's a mass murderer.
Kind of like Venom.
Only
Venom
killing the
like
two people.
Two really bad, basically robots that he killed.
Yeah,
Might
two
as well have been
non-people.
Foot soldiers from
Toitos. Yeah, I mean, we have one good piece of news for Marvel with that being canceled, and then we have another bad piece, or at least bad in my opinion. Venom won the weekend again.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, two like good movies, or good-looking movies. Spoilers, good movies.
Right.
Come out, and Venom still's in first place.
Yep.
And the other really good movie, the Star is Born movie,
still in second
didn't
place.
overtake Venom, even though everybody's saying you got to go see this Star is Born movie. But apparently audiences like Venom.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yep. Well, I've been seeing a lot of people who go... There seem to be two camps. There's like, it's good for a blockbuster, which I'm like, no, it's not. You're just not seeing the right blockbusters if you think this is good.
No, it's a horrible blockbuster.
And two, I've seen people who like it because it is so stupid and so schlocky, and I'm like, but it's not dumb enough. Like, it's dumb, but it's not over the top enough for me to be like, oh, this is good schlock fun.
Well, okay. So, like, you think of, like, the Transformers movies, like, especially the sequels.
Oh,
right?
I had way more fun watching Transformers 5 than I had watching Venom.
Think about it. Like, there's actually things that, like, I mean, there's impressive effects and, like, little robot fight scenes that are...
Technically, yeah. I mean, you're looking at it as like there's actual like more quality with those, and I'm saying they're more ridiculous and more dumb. So that
makes them more fun.
They're more fun
but I'm saying,
to watch.
Like if you want to see if you're into like action scenes,
right? Absolutely.
Venom is worse.
Absolutely, I would totally agree. Venom is more bland in every way possible than the Transformers.
Oh, God, it was horrible. I hated it.
Yeah, it sucks. Fucking sucks. I have a feeling though that it will fall to third, though, because I think that...
Halloween comes out.
Well,
this
Halloween
weekend.
is a guaranteed winning the weekend, but I think that A Star is Born, based on how much it closed the gap between weekend 1 and weekend 2...
It's going to leap it, but does that mean anything? Because everybody saw Venom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter. That people are projecting it could make upwards of $600 million at the worldwide box office. That's just... bad.
Did you see the article this week about comparing Venom to The Greatest Showman.
What?
Because the critics didn't like The Greatest Showman and like the audiences did. And I'm reading it and I'm sitting here saying like, but wait a minute, The Greatest Showman's opened with like 10 million. It was like an abject failure and it gained legs because like over time, like the amount of people going every weekend was increasing.
Yeah.
And it was in theaters for 6 months.
It's nowhere near Greatest Showman.
No.
Also, Greatest Showman is a way better movie. Like they're not comparable in any way, shape, or form. What this is a Transformers movie. If you want to make a comparison about situations, it's a Transformers movie. So fuck that guy. Like
I think it was that I like that Scott Mendelson or whatever too. I think he wrote the article, or I think it was on Forbes.
Yeah, sometimes I like him, and sometimes he just writes clickbaity kind of shit.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Venom is the new Greatest Showman.
Exactly.
I was offended.
Yeah, I would be too. But it got you to click.
It did.
Something that also got people clicking, though, was James Gunn's new news.
Exciting.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, James Gunn is going to maybe direct Suicide Squad 2.
Certainly writing
He's certainly writing it. And, yeah. How do you feel about that?
Okay, so I'd be excited to see his movie.
Right.
But, like, people need to pump the brakes on, like, he's going to come save this whole thing.
Yeah.
And I'm a little concerned, like, does WB and DC ruin James Gunn? Like, or can James Gunn even make this into something? I mean, you would think if he could erase everything that happened before and he didn't have to carry in any of the baggage and bullshit, like, he would probably make a really good movie. I mean, it's a perfect, It's a perfect setup because
correct. Guardians is just they're just a more hero-centric version of the Suicide Squad.
Correct. So, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's a good mashing of content and creator. And as a fan of good movies and as a fan of James Gunn, this is good.
It's better than him doing nothing, right?
Exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. Some people were worried that with the whole everything that happened, he was just going to be done in Hollywood. And he's just too talented to not get work.
Right. Well, plus, what a fucking smart, like, marketing move by them to swoop him up.
Yep. I mean, I don't expect him when the press release comes out for if he writes it or if he directs it. I don't expect him to shit on Disney. He's too much of a good guy.
He's not going to do that.
He's not going to do that, but...
you know him. You know he's a good person. You've met him. You guys go bowling on the weekends and stuff? Or?
Yep, we make pedophile jokes.
Actually, he doesn't really look like a bowler.
No.
I don't know why. I picked bowling.
That good bowler physique that everybody has?
Yeah, he's got to be more of a fat ass, I think.
Yeah.
Haven't you seen Kingpin?
I have seen Kingpin.
Oh, that's right. You don't like Kingpin. Damn.
Actually, I should say I never finished Kingpin.
That's what he should do. He should write a Kingpin sequel.
But yeah, I mean, good for James Gunn. Glad he's getting work. To me, I think this is a big sign to Disney. It's like, you made a fucking mistake, because I don't know of anybody who's like, fuck you, WB, gonna boycott your movie.
Oh, I'm sure they're out there, though.
But
the lunatics on the internet that we've talked about many times.
Yes, but I bet you they're few and far between.
It's probably true. You know, it's funny because I do think he's perfect, because as bad of a movie as Suicide Squad was, there was some humor in it already that I kind of thought was funny. So, like, obviously...
I mean, I didn't laugh at any of the jokes.
It would be better. No, I thought it was kind of funny.
I
thought some of the Will Smith, and I thought, what's her name?
Margot
Robbie was pretty good.
I thought that everything sucked.
Of course,
from beginning to end.
This is going to really tear Alex apart, because if it's good, he's going to have to go, oh, DC made a good movie.
No.
Although Wonder Woman,
I had no problem with Wonder Woman.
Yeah, that's true.
I have no problem with giving DC props. It's just that I like giving them shit, because they're the example of studio interference.
Yeah, they're terrible.
And it's like, God, what's his name? Who made Suicide Squad?
David Ayer.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if he would have made a better movie, but I have a feeling it would have at least been better than what we got, but maybe not good.
Well, I've heard End of Watch is good. He did that. I liked Fury a lot, which was like the World War II tank movie. That's a good one.
He also did Bright, and that movie sucks.
I didn't see that. Dark Blue. Oh, he just wrote that. Oh, that got me excited. And all of a sudden, I was like a David Ayer fan. Have you ever seen that, Dark Blue?
No, I haven't.
It's Kurt Russell. It's like the L.A. riots, and he plays like this crooked cop.
Okay.
It's fucking amazing, man. But yeah, I mean, who knows?
I believe
the movie was a mess. That was its biggest problem.
It
looked like somebody to cut it to shit.
Yep. I'm not gonna hold back if it's a good movie. If it's a good movie, it'll be more evidence of like just DC. Just let your directors make a movie.
Yeah.
But we got some other movie stuff to talk about. Pet Semetary got a trailer.
You know, I saw a lot of people shitting on this trailer, thinking it looked bland. And okay, I have a pet peeve here. I fucking can't stand, like, when the It trailer came out, the first one.
Right.
Like, oh, they don't need to remake the original. It's fine as is. It's like, that was an adaptation. This is an adaptation. There was nothing original about the first one they made.
Right.
So if somebody wants to make a more true adaptation or an adaptation that's got a bigger budget, I mean, Pet Semetary, the movie, is fine. It's just fine, though.
Right.
If somebody wants to make a really good one, like really great production value, good actors,
Right.
nobody should have a problem with that.
Right.
I think the trailer looks pretty good. I mean, it's a teaser trailer, so if these people were expecting like to see like demon little fucking Gage or whatever the little kid's name is, like walking around, they weren't going to get that.
Right.
It was basically just like old man Lithgow narrating. Yeah. And people like John Lithgow, so I don't understand.
The problem, I don't think it's like a terrible trailer, but I think the thing about it is it doesn't do a good enough job of selling you on the hook of like the movie, because you don't see anything coming back to life.
No,
I don't
there's
believe.
nothing about that.
And
Right.
So you're kind of just like, ooh, creepy woods and creepy John Lithgow.
You're right. It's depending on you already knowing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
but when the movie comes out, you'll appreciate that, hopefully. If they don't show it by then, which they probably will.
Right.
But
well, and my problem is it's kind of like a comic book movie in a way. You've got an established fan base that loves the Pet Semetary movie and the book, but they're going to be smaller than the amount of people or they're going to be just a portion of the population that goes to see movies.
Right.
And so it's like you got to show a little bit of your hand. That was my thing with it. It was
it's a teaser. It's the first teaser.
It's a teaser. You're right. But they always say you never get a
They did show
second
the cat.
You never get a second chance at a first impression.
That cat looks pretty fucking evil, though.
He does look evil.
Oh,
I mean,
just
but
coming in the house smelling like death. I can't wait.
Right. I mean, that's my thing. Is like I'm excited for the movie because I know what it's about. Like, I know what it is.
Well, and I got to tell you, I'm becoming a huge Jason Clarke fan.
Yeah.
Which he was in something we're reviewing this week.
Right.
Always good.
He is.
He's always solid. And I don't feel like he's ever going to be that, like, A-list actor.
You're right.
But
he's always going to do
good at whatever he does.
Well, Terminator Genesis.
Well, I mean, it's not
That's not his fault, though.
Right.
No, I don't blame him.
But he, earlier this year, the Chappaquiddick movie I saw, like, I could see him, if he wasn't Jason Clarke, being nominated for something for that. Maybe he will be. I mean, it's like I don't know. He was good in that. It's like a starring role, but that wasn't a big movie.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, that's my thing is highlights were Creepy Cat, Jason Clarke, and John Lithgow.
John Lithgow, yeah.
John Lithgow's always a win.
He really is.
I don't know if this is always winning, though.
Uh-oh.
The new Aladdin trailer.
You know, I'm sure it'll be just fine. Now that's a teaser that shows even less.
That's true.
Aladdin kind of looks douchey in it, though, at the end of the trailer. I
don't
like the look of the character.
He doesn't look like a street tough, you know?
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, were you impressed by any of it?
No, he looks like an actor in like a Broadway costume.
Yes.
That's what he looks like.
Yes. And I got to say, something I wasn't in love with was I looked at the the treasure room, and everything looked kind of silver in there, and I thought it was like It was like gold in the cartoon.
You would think it'd be gold.
Like, that was kind of my thing. It was like, why is it all like platinum? That's weird. I don't know if it was a lighting thing or what it was.
Could be, yeah.
It just seemed really stupid to me. There is a little bit of, it's kind of funny. There's a tiny, tiny bit of controversy going on about the trailer.
Oh, what's that?
Because one of the writers of the original Aladdin movie came out and said, well, they stole all of my lines that I wrote for this thing. And we writers, apparently, writers who write animated features are not part of the Writers Guild of America.
Okay.
So he doesn't get compensated in any way for them using those lines that he wrote for that original Aladdin movie. So he's kind of like, it's just another example of...
Weird.
Yeah.
That's odd. What an odd problem.
It's weird.
Well, and shouldn't they have been running into this problem then with all these fucking remakes they're doing? I mean, Beauty and the Beast used a ton of the same shit.
Yeah.
What about the music?
See, I wonder about the music because music writers are different than just writers.
Right, so they might have their own little union or
Yeah.
whatever, or gets filed as some other sort of artistic fucking
They're probably in a
license.
different guild.
All right.
But
the guild.
Yeah, yes. But yeah, he came out and he said it's so strange that literally the only words spoken in the new Aladdin trailer happened to be a rhyme that my writing partner and I wrote, and Disney offers zero compensation to us. Zero compensation to us.
Good job getting that.
And I did it. Or to any screenwriters on any of these live action remakes, not even a t-shirt or a pass to the park or anything. That just seems really weird to me.
Although if they sent him a t-shirt, he'd be
like, yeah,
pretty
well,
pissed.
yeah, I would be too.
Even worse.
I would. I'd be like, wait a, watch them
odd.
send him a t-shirt now.
I mean, here's the thing. I would shit on this, but I shit on the Beauty and the Beast trailer the first time I saw it because I thought the Beast looked terrible.
Okay.
Like, that was my instinct, was like, wow, the Beast looks like a pussy. I don't want to see this.
Right.
I like the movie quite a bit.
Yeah,
so I'm going to reserve judgment until I see one of these that like pisses me off.
Right.
I want to see what Jafar looks like.
That's going to be interesting. I really want to see what Will Smith as the genie looks like.
It's just a tough one to swallow for me.
I just really do hate Aladdin's look. He doesn't look like he's poor.
No.
He's so kept and like perfect.
Yeah, of course.
He's like a plastic.
He's got pomade in.
Yeah.
Pomade in his hair.
Yeah, I was like, his hair looks plastic. Like he's like Ken or something.
They can afford pomade, can't they? Those
Probably.
Arab homeless
so
people.
Glow.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Will Smith will have the soul glow.
Oh man,
that'd be great.
That would actually be a great joke for him to have. But yeah, that's kind of it for news.
New shit. All right.
So shit we watched.
I'm going to start by talking about this movie, The King, that I watched.
The King.
The King, it's called.
What's that? That's your new car, boy.
Make sure you baby this king.
Oh, you know I will, Dad.
Good.
Whoa! Awesome. Congrats. What kind?
It's still a Baron. The pride of Chrysler.
Well, at least somebody's proud of it.
Really?
This thing doesn't have a CD player, so I made you a mixtape. So we got the 98 Degrees, the Backstreet Fellas.
Yeah, there's gonna be no underage drinking.
Did I hear beers?
So I'm a subscriber to this Compound Media. Anthony Cumia, formerly of Opie and Anthony, the morning radio show in like New York. It was nationally syndicated.
Yeah.
He brought on this guy, Dave Landau, as his co-host after Artie Lang started hitting the drugs a little too hard again, although I suppose he never stopped.
Okay.
Then they had to tell him, like, we're done. You got to go take care of yourself. Like, his nose was bleeding on set during the show and shit. So they brought this Dave Landau guy in.
Okay.
I don't know how old he is. He's pretty like young, like late 30s, early 40s maybe or something.
Okay.
But he's from Detroit, and apparently like 5 years ago or something, he's a stand-up comic. He co-hosts the show now.
Okay.
And apparently they were talking about it the other day. He crowdsourced funding for a movie like him and his buddies made for like $5,000, I think, or less.
Wow.
It's called The King, and it's about like a group of like they're just graduating high school. And they go out one night into like downtown Detroit, like 8 Mile and shit, to like score some pot or something.
Right.
And the main character was given this, it's a Chrysler LeBaron. That's the king. That's
I had
the
a friend
king.
in high school. That was his car.
All right. So, okay.
Convertible LeBaron.
So I actually struck up a Twitter conversation with this Dave Landau, and
Did
I told
you?
him I wanted to watch his movie. He told me where I could find it, whatever. I told him I'd watch it and talk about it on the show. Never before have I seen something that was so bad, but also made me laugh my fucking ass off.
Really?
I mean, like, the situations in it are like, the guy, it's funny shit. I mean, they go to this, like, the drug dealer's house, for instance, and there's this guy getting fucked on a couch, and he's on ecstasy. They both are. And the one, like, the awkward guy, like the awkward friend of the group, they're like, you stay here. We're going to go make the deal, whatever.
Right.
And he's sitting on the couch, and the guy's like, hold my hand till I come, man. And it was fucking funny. Incredibly stupid.
Right.
But it had me laughing.
So
and then another scene, they were going in somewhere else, the two of them, like, going to a gas station to pick up some beer or something. And the girl and this other guy are in the car. It's the LeBaron convertible, like it's got like a drop top convertible, whatever.
Right.
And this homeless guy comes out to the car, and he's like, yo, let me get some money, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, okay, well, I got this. Or no, he asked for $22, I believe, like, specifically. He wants $22. So they give him some money. And he's like, oh, thanks. And he burps and farts, like a weird noise comes out of him, and they're like, whoa, dude, what the fuck was that? And he says, that's just a furt. And they're like, what? And he's like, it's when I fart and burp at the same time. That kind of shit had me laughing my ass off.
So you said it was bad. I mean,
it's made for nothing.
Okay.
I mean,
okay. Do you mean production quality or just like
production quality? I think there's only like 1 or 2 like actors in it that
so it's all amateur acting. So stuff.
I mean, that's what I'm assuming.
Right.
But the dude, I knew that there'd be like funny gags in it because he's fucking hilarious, super witty. Like, he's just boom, rapid
much
fire,
better than
funny.
us.
Yeah, much funnier than us. Yeah, right. But there were a few, like, he shows up in the movie. He was just a producer and writer on it.
Right.
But he shows up in the movie in like these, they come, like, the rival gang drug dealer guys show up when, like, the main characters are doing a drug deal with the other guy.
Okay.
And he's in full juggalo, excuse me, like regalia, like ICP with like the clown face paint. Makes no sense. No one else is.
Oh, okay. I was like, they always travel in packs.
No,
so,
they do. But he shows up like, oh, fucking honky, or whatever. It's incredibly stupid. I would recommend it if someone wants to laugh.
Okay.
Just don't think that you're sitting down to watch this like polished, great film with like, great acting and whatever. But and the whole idea that the main character is like, he's 18 and for his birthday, like the first scene of the movie is him waking up, his parents waking him up for his birthday, and he's got like morning wood to the max. That's like the opening scene of the movie. And he's just so excited about being given this LeBaron. And everyone he tells about the LeBaron is like, yeah.
Dude, LeBaron's garbage.
So yeah, it's like, I would love to see, I hope that he makes more movies.
Okay.
Yeah, I would assume that, he would get more money the next time.
Yeah, I would assume
he's
so.
really funny. I laughed. My the fiance woke up in bed while I was watching it.
Okay.
Like during the hand holding, hold my hand till I come scene. And she's like, this looks really stupid. And I'm like, it's stupid, but I'm laughing. So if that was the goal, I guess it's pretty good.
Better than Camp Mana.
Yes, it was funnier than Camp Mana. Not as
it's
much money. It didn't feel like something.
Hard not to be funnier than
true.
Camp Mana.
That's true. But yeah, I appreciate.
Schindler's List is funnier than Camp Mana.
Ooh. Yeah. Well. That could
There's
be
got to
true.
be a joke in
I don't think there's a
Schindler's.
single joke.
There might not be.
I don't think there is. That when the girl climbed in the shitter, the porta potty shitter area to hide from the Nazis, Alex, that wasn't a joke.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't like a dirty gag joke. That was a...
I knew I read that scene wrong. I just picture it with this The King movie. I just picture this The King. He's got like the trademark on like the film The King, and then somebody someday is going to want to make a movie about Michael Jackson, the King of Pop.
I think there's a King Elvis Presley movie.
Is there called The King?
I think there is. But what's funny about this, I'm assuming that like some of this, because his stories that he tells on this show I watch pretty much every day, like I'm assuming some of these stories are like very exaggerated versions of shit that's happened to him. Like maybe he's been puked on by a homeless person, or you know.
Lesson of the story is,
but it was funny.
Lesson of the story: go out there. You want funny stories? Go and hang out in back alleys with homeless people.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking funny. But yeah, what's your first on tap here?
So I started watching Jonah Hill's new show on Netflix called Maniac.
Once you begin to appreciate the structure of the mind, there's no reason to believe that anything about us can't be changed. Pain can be destroyed. The mind can be solved.
How many of your subjects have ended up catatonic?
0, roughly.
My head doesn't work right. I thought maybe these people could fix me. Sounds stupid.
That doesn't sound stupid to me.
Okay, people, let's begin.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I watched the first episode.
I watched the first 3.
Okay. How is it? It was very strange.
It's very strange. It reminds me of almost like British TV in a way.
Sure.
Like almost like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe. It's got some quirkiness to it.
The Galaxy, right?
God damn it. I always do that.
I think that's the second time.
That is the second time on air. Imagine how many times I do that in my own free time. I'm just talking about that movie all the time. But yeah, it reminds me of that. It's got that weird quirky British humor, but it's also dark and it seems to have something to say.
Yeah, it's very dry from what I could tell.
Yes. Holy shit, Jonah Hill lost a lot of weight. It's not the first thing I want to say about it.
He's like the new Oprah, who like every other movie I feel like is going to be, you know, either fat or skinny, and you never know what you're going to get. But he does. He looks skinny. It's weird.
Yeah.
Fat actors who turn skinny, it's weird.
I feel good. I feel happy for him because it's like, I'm sure it wasn't healthy to be that weight. So, you know, good for you for losing the weight. Emma Stone's in it too. I really enjoy her character. She gets more screen time in the second episode. Yeah, I was going to say,
in the first episode, we don't know her much.
And she's kind of nuts in the first episode, and you don't know why. Like, she's just kind of like a bitch.
Okay. And you learn more about her.
You learn more about her in the second episode.
I like the idea, though. The whole thing is based around, like Jonah Hill, if I remember, I watched it a week or two ago, but he basically, you can take a job as like an advertisement or something.
Well, that's one of the ideas.
Okay.
They're going in and doing like testing on a new drug.
Okay.
That's supposed to like help you deal with your trauma and sort of reformat your brain so you can deal with problems better or not have problems basically at all is almost what it's trying to do. But yeah, to pay for things, because everybody seems to be kind of poor.
That's right.
They have an ad buddy.
Yes.
And they sit next to you, whatever you're doing. Like, he's got to ride the subway. Gets on the subway, doesn't have enough money. Do you want to supplement an ad buddy for the rest of your funds? Sure. So he's on the ride there. He's got to listen to this fat guy just tell him about all these different ads and different things.
I could see it happening.
I know. I kind of liked it. I really liked it. There are little, and he wrote this too. Jonah Hill wrote, I don't know how much of it he wrote, but he wrote part of it. And he has a lot of those sort of similar ideas of like, what if we do this in the future? And there are lots of little things that are fun and amusing, but also like just a dark version of what we already have.
Right.
And I liked it. I think it's a pretty decent show. I don't think it's going to be like their new Stranger Things, but
no, it seemed a lot more of like a niche. Like some people are just going to turn it off 20 minutes in because it's too fucking boring or
it's a little
weird
slow.
Or
it's a little slow, but it's no Marvel TV show slow.
There you go.
It's not even close.
You mean there's not like 7 straight episodes where nothing happens of any significant importance to the main plot?
No. I would say it embraces the streaming format.
Okay.
Because every episode has a good cliffhanger that makes you want to keep watching.
Have you watched this, speaking of Netflix, the buzz behind this, I think, House on Haunted Hill or Haunted
No, I
Hill?
haven't, no.
The buzz is good.
Is it?
Yeah, it's supposedly really good. So
Okay.
I'm planning on watching that, but I haven't watched it either.
Okay.
You run into this shit where it's like, I don't have time to watch 4 right now, so I'm
Right.
not even going to start.
Right. Yep. That's
You know what I mean?
Yep. Because I almost do. I praise the streaming format, but at the same time, there is a problem in that sometimes one episode doesn't feel like enough.
Yes. Well, it's easy when like you're recording something weekly.
Yeah.
To, I've been watching Mr. Mercedes. Like it records Wednesday night. Maybe I'll watch it tonight, but as long as I watch it before next Wednesday, I feel like my homework is over.
Right.
And, then it's, you stretch it out over 2.5 months.
Yeah.
And you don't, feel like you're missing out on anything. So.
Yeah. But
yeah, I'm going to continue watching that one. That was one where the lady fell asleep and she really wanted to watch it. So I can't continue it until she finishes the first episode. Dear, are you listening?
Maniac, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't watch the next episode until she watches the rest of the first, but then she'll fall asleep during the second episode, and then the cycle will just repeat itself. I had tried starting look, we're just not going to watch television together because it's pointless. It's pointless. I'm just going to watch my shit. If you want to watch it and catch up, that's on you. But I'm not going to schedule TV watch time if you're just going to fall asleep 5 minutes into it. And then I can't watch the next episode until you've caught up.
Coffee.
I don't think it would work. It's just there's just something about it. I don't know. And then if it's something she doesn't like, then she's like, change the channel. Can we watch something else? Blah, 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 blah. Like at sorry, a little bit of a segue here, or, not a segue, fucking diatribe. Yeah, no, you going to bed, right? For instance, she likes to watch her ID, like the murder mystery documentary show bullshit.
Yeah. Yep.
So if that's on, she'll fall asleep in 45 seconds, and then I change the channel. But she I go to change the channel and she doesn't always complain. I'm over exaggerating that. But I go to change the channel. It's like, oh, can't I just watch this? It's like, no, there's no point. You're going to fall asleep in 45 seconds anyway, or 2 minutes or whatever. But then if I turn something I like on, then she's up for 20 more minutes complaining. So what do you do? But anyways, yeah, she's going to kill me for this conversation.
I can always cut it.
No, don't cut it. It needs to stay.
The people need to know.
Right. But yeah.
What else did you watch this week?
Funny. So I looked at the movie schedule this weekend. I had seen the 2 movies we were going to see on Thursday, Friday.
Right.
So Saturday, I noticed that Candyman is playing for $5.
Okay.
So I went and saw Candyman, which I hadn't seen in 20 years.
Have you ever heard of Candyman? If you look in the mirror, you say his name 5 times.
In cities everywhere,
Candyman.
they whisper his name.
Right. Candyman.
It's just a story.
Candyman.
Candyman.
Just a ghost story.
Okay.
It's pretty fucking good.
Is it?
Yes. It's not. Okay, so when you're a kid, it's scary because they say Candyman in the mirror 5 times, and then he pops up behind you and guts you with a hook. That's kind of scary sounding.
Right.
But but it's actually got like a little bit to say. It's a little confusing as far as like, okay, does this really make sense or whatever? But it's got like things to say about like gentrification and biracial couples. And, you know, like, I mean, he's basically a slave who was killed because he fell in love with the daughter of some, you know, white guy.
See, I've never seen Candyman, so you're filling me in.
It's good.
Okay.
I like it. Tony Todd plays Candyman.
Now, is it Halloween 1 good or is it Halloween 3 good?
No, it's not. It's not Halloween 1 good. It's definitely better than Halloween 3 as a film.
Okay.
I mean, that's not saying too much. Might not be as fun as Halloween 3.
So we got to tease the people a little bit.
Yeah, we got a Halloween episode coming.
Yeah, yep.
But yeah, no, it's good. I would highly recommend it. If those of you who have seen it, who want to revisit it, you might get a little more out of it. It's weird because you think like kind of slasher genre, like, but it's not that at all.
Okay.
It's very slow. Virginia Madsen is the lead, and then Xander Berkeley. He's Gregory in The Walking Dead. He's George Mason in 24.
Xander Cage.
No.
You said Xander.
Berkeley. He's in it. He's kind of a douchey professor, but yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was fun to go see that in the theater.
Okay. Cool.
Very weird movie.
How full was the theater?
I think it's a good play for them. I think it was like half full.
Oh.
I mean, the lowest movie on their current tier wasn't going to get that many people in the seats. So
it's very true.
Yeah. And it was the Saturday night showing, so Friday night there might have been more people. I don't know. You know. But yeah, I like that they're doing this. I think so they did The Shining in the first week. They did Candyman last weekend. I think next weekend might be It, which I feel like it's too soon for that.
Right.
But
the new one.
The new It.
Oh, okay.
And then I feel like maybe they might be doing The Exorcist one of these weekends, which I might be tempted to see that on.
I do like that they're doing that. I saw that they were doing like a Hayao Miyazaki week where like Spirited Away.
Oh, really? Like
Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah, they might as well. You want to bring people into your movie theater, have fun shit like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and there are niche films that, you know, otherwise you have to go online and order them on Blu-ray. This is how you get people out of their house.
Yeah.
Go and see it on a big screen with a crowd of people who also love it.
Right. Well, and I know I had a buddy on Facebook who, like, they're replaying Halloween pretty much everywhere this week.
Right.
The original.
Yep. this
And some people are just like, oh, this is one of my favorite movies. I've never seen it on the big screen. I'm going to go. I went and saw Nightmare on Elm Street last year. It was cool. It's a cool experience. So, yeah, keep doing it.
Yeah.
And I saw Jaws this year, too, on the big screen.
That's right. You did.
Yeah.
So the other thing that I watched was Black Dynamite.
Explain. I don't know what this is.
It's a parody movie of blaxploitation movies a la Austin Powers.
Okay.
It stars Michael J. White of Spawn fame.
Yeah, I know.
Main man, Black Dynamite. He's super cool and he know kung fu. Drives a $5,000 car and wears a $100 suit.
You're so righteous.
This is also true.
And when it comes to the ladies, he's out of sight.
Let me guess. You one of these brothers think you can get by on a wink and a smile, huh? What about the smile?
I am smiling.
Black Dynamite.
Never in the history of the game has there been such devastation.
The CIA needs Black Dynamite now more than ever.
We need you, Black Dynamite, now more than ever. I thought I told you hunkers from the CIA that Black Dynamite was out of the game.
And he's better than Shaft, Superfly, and the Mac put together.
Dynamite! Dynamite! I am declaring war on anybody who sells drugs in our community.
But Black Dynamite, I sell drugs to the community.
And how was it? Was it funny?
It was really funny.
How does it compare to Undercover Brother?
Never saw Undercover Brother.
Pretty funny.
Okay.
Stupid as all fucking get out. But
right. There's so much there. Now, there is a problem that I just have with parodies in general, which is parodies tend to run too long because it's essentially you run out of jokes and you just start repeating the same jokes. They're just, just different setting, but it's the same joke, But there's
you mean like both Austin Powers sequels do?
Absolutely.
They're all the same shit.
It's the same jokes over and over. There's a great bit where the mic comes down and starts poking him in the afro. and he keeps on like looking up at it as he's like doing his speech. It's pretty good. There's a great bit where some guy is getting chased and they're going through a back alley, and I will say this is maybe one of the best parodies I've ever seen because the cinematography is on point, the locations are on point, the vehicles perfect, the outfits are it's perfect. Even like the camera quality is like at points it's grainy like that.
It feels like an old
People are out of focus sometimes when they shouldn't be. It's masterfully done in every way. But I'd say my favorite bit is Black Dynamite. Michael J. White is chasing a guy who has some information on who killed his brother. And I forget this guy's name.
That this is where this guy ended up, though.
Oh,
his
Spawn?
big breakout Spawn role.
Dude, he is so much better in this.
He was also in The Dark Knight.
That's right. He was Gamble.
Yeah.
Yep. Got killed. But he's amazing in this. And he's chasing this guy down this alleyway. And there are these two people, and they're carrying like stacks of eggs, like egg cartons between the two of them. And the idea is that the stunt was supposed to be that the one guy runs past them, and then Black Dynamite is supposed to go underneath all smooth like. Well, the first guy realizes that their timing isn't right, and he's just kind of like, he stops for a second, and then he keeps running out of frame. Then Black Dynamite comes, and he realizes that he's coming too soon, so he stops, turns around, goes behind them, and then shoves the eggs up in the air.
So it's supposed to be like this, like it's making fun of like choreographed, well done, well timed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, because blaxploitation movies were done on the cheap, so their stunts were always kind of crap. It's
funny though.
It's
Where
really
can you
funny.
watch it?
You can watch it on Netflix.
It's Black Dynamite.
Black Dynamite. This
All right.
I believe this was like a 2008, 2009 kind of
Sounds
movie.
kind of funny.
Michael J. White wrote it too.
Oh, look at him, Mr. Big Shot.
And I didn't know this, but there's an animated feature that was on Adult Swim for a while. It's the animated Black Dynamite TV show. So,
so you'll be watching that.
I will be checking it out. It was pretty fucking good.
Perfect. I do want to say that the season finale of Saul was last week.
Ooh.
It was great.
Okay. Not surprised.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, God, it's so fucking good. He's so good.
Right. What's his name, the actor?
Bob Odenkirk.
Okay. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, and the way they left, it's finally getting to him becoming Saul.
Good.
Like the Saul we all know and love from Breaking Bad.
That's awesome.
And the way they did it was great.
Okay.
He is just such an amazingly huge piece of shit. It's beyond, and you can see why he's a piece of shit. So you don't like hate him.
Right.
But holy fuck is he a piece of shit. It's just glorious.
And I don't want you to answer this question because
I want it spoiled.
Well, I don't want it spoiled. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I've only watched the first 2 seasons, but I was actually kind of wondering if it was going to be a gradual turn or if it was going to be I am making a choice to be this person now. And like he's torn about it. Like it's not the real him. He's not really a bad guy. It's just like this is what he has to do in the world that he exists.
So it's gradual in that you see the turmoil of the character becoming this way, but there's a moment.
Yeah.
Where
he has to make a decision.
This is it.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's fucking awesome.
Yep.
So yeah, I highly recommend you catch up on that.
I will. Yeah. I will.
Trying to think if there's anything else I've been watching that Mr. Mercedes. I brought it up. It's great. I highly recommend it. Still good. What else did I watch?
It's the time of Stephen King. Jesus.
Yeah. No, it's good. Yeah, he's in the second season, like at first it's weird because the first one was like totally realistic. Bad guy is this guy. He runs over a bunch of people with a Mercedes, kills them all. And then it's like the, back and forth between the cop trying to catch him and the bad guy. And it's like all grounded in reality.
Right.
This one, there's a supernatural element brought in the first few episodes I was kind of like, but it's better than the first season.
Okay.
So I'm super excited about it. Now I know it's a trilogy of books, so maybe next season will be the last, which, you know, I mean,
I gotta wonder how much Stephen King is worth.
Oh, he's worth
off
a
of like
shitload.
all the royalties that he made. Take out what he made selling the books.
Yeah, no.
Just
And
the
he's-
royalties
yeah.
alone.
Yeah, he's got to be worth a shit ton.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. I mean, anything else
No, I
before
think-
movie reviews here?
No, the theater watching.
So, did you have a bad time then?
I did not have a bad time.
No, me neither.
I went with 2 friends. One of them
Had a bad time.
The other one liked it more than I did.
Okay, so you were in the middle.
Yes.
Okay.
Lonely nights that come, memories that flow, bring
You watch me? I only watch who they tell me to watch. Who's they? Management.
Baby, it's my
Would you mind opening up the door?
No, I ain't gonna do that. Each day that passes by,
We have to get as far away from him as possible.
Howdy.
I'm not really a priest.
So yeah, you were in the middle.
I was in the middle.
Okay.
I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It's one of those movies. Bad Times at the El Royale is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And it's one of those movies where acting is great.
Yes.
Set design is great.
Yes.
Costumes are great. Metaphor, it's sort of where my problem becomes structurally and sort of like a little bit of an unclear message. I feel like it's trying to say a lot of things, but I don't feel like all of it is clear. And because of that, it sort of drags a little bit. It's a little slow.
It's long.
It's I'd say it's about 15, 20 minutes longer than it needs to be.
Yeah, that was the fiance's complaint, was that it was too long.
Yeah.
I thought some of the most well-written, deep characters, especially for one of these hodgepodge movies where there's like 6 like well-defined characters in the movie.
Right.
They all kind of had something going on. You learned a little bit about all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it.
Did you?
I loved it, even though it's like a B. It's
Okay.
like one of those where I can understand that it's not the greatest movie, but it just tripped my trigger, man. I thought I was having a blast watching it.
I walked out, and in all honesty, the defining word of my experience is disappointed because I wanted to love this movie.
Yeah, I was surprised, I would say.
Because I love this director, Drew Goddard. He
Yes.
did Cabin in the Woods. He's also one of the creators of The Good Place on TV. He also
Sure.
did like a bunch of stuff for Buffy. I never watched that, but you know, I mean, he was the showrunner on the first season of Daredevil.
Okay.
So I mean, he's really talented. I just felt like he got a little up his own ass on this one.
I thought it was great. I had a blast with this. And it was funny because like 20 minutes in, I knew I was in love with it. I looked over at the girl and was like, I think I love this movie so far. Just like when they meet up at the hotel, I'm like,
Yes.
okay, this is going to be one of
Yes.
those. Kind of like it reminded me of, did you ever see Identity with like Ray Liotta and
No.
John Cusack, where they all have the same birthday and they're all at this motel and there's a twist at the end? It reminded me of that. It's like one of those
Maybe
movies.
I did see that.
Bunch of random characters are going to show up at this place.
Hold on. Spoilers for Identity. Is it that they're all like inside?
They're all
personal.
yeah.
Yes. Okay. I have
so
seen that
that's what
movie.
it reminded me
Yes.
of. Only like not a scary movie.
No.
That was kind of more of like a suspenseful thriller
Right.
type
Yes.
deal.
Yes.
This one, the characters were all so good. Like I just
acting
thought
was on point.
Yes, it was.
It was. I liked everybody in this movie as far as actors go. Like
correct.
And you're right. Like first 20 minutes, I was loving it.
Okay.
And I don't. It's like I love specific scenes, but as a whole narrative, it
I understand.
stopped dragging me in. You know what I mean?
I'm not going to sit here and say that you're wrong.
Right.
I'm just going to say it worked for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I
feel like
I am a scene guy, so I guess that would make sense.
And I feel like that's how it's going to be for a lot of people. Is a lot of people are going to walk in, and there are going to be people that love this, but they're going to understand why you don't love it.
Yeah. Well, when you start a movie with Ron Swanson and you end it with Jerry Gergich, you got a good thing going as far as I'm concerned. But no, like the characters. You have Chris Hemsworth is like the cult leader, like the Charles Manson character. He's great.
Yep.
Dakota Johnson's like the older sister who's trying to save her younger sister who's been like wrapped up in this guy.
Right.
John Hamm is a
traveling businessman.
Yes. Jeff Bridges is a priest.
Yep.
Although from the trailers you already
know he's not.
Cynthia Erivo.
So who is Cynthia Erivo?
Who is she?
Yeah. What was? Oh yeah, she was she was the singer.
The singer.
Yeah,
the singer. She's the only one that seems to not have a nefarious purpose for being there.
Right.
She's just kind of fucked in this situation.
She is relatively new to acting too,
and she's great.
She is fucking phenomenal.
Yes. Now, it also had Nick Offerman and Louis Pullman. Bill Pullman's son plays like the
bellhop.
The bellhop, or, he's like the everyman at the hotel. The hotel doesn't get any business anymore, so you only need one guy to work there.
He's kind of the catch-all.
But yeah, basically, all these characters end up at this hotel. They're all completely different people. I mean, none of them are similar, I would say, in many ways. And you slowly piece together why they're all there. It kind of feels like something that could be like an HBO show or something.
I was going to say, actually, about 3/4 of the way through the movie, when you're starting to get one of the characters' backstories, I was like, this is an HBO series or like a Netflix limited series that's condensed into like 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah. And it's told in a weird way that I can understand people not liking, where like you see a scene from one person's point of view and then you have to watch the scene again from another person's point of view.
It's very Tarantino-esque. The other friend that I saw it with who really liked it said it's very much like Clue. He thought it was he got hints
kind of like Clue.
He got hints from Clue, but then it stops sort of being Clue.
That. Yeah.
And that's sort of like the interesting thing about this movie. It's like it's trying to set up sort of like a Hateful Eight kind of whodunit murder mystery kind of. It sort of starts that way, and it quickly abandons that. And in that regard, I was like, oh well, this is kind of nice. You're doing something different. I'm not quite sure what came out of it. It's unique.
I loved it.
It's unique.
I'm going to be thrilled to sit and watch it again.
I feel like it's a movie. And this, I'm not going to say it's bad, No,
I was just certainly not bad. Yeah.
I was just disappointed because I think it's a movie that upon repeat viewings, you're going to catch a bunch of things.
Right.
It's really dense. It's really smart. It's got a lot of things to say, and I think I'll understand it more with a second viewing.
Right.
That being said, the trailer did a major disservice to this movie.
I don't think so.
I feel like the trailer is an amazing trailer because it really got me interested in the movie. But based on what I expected from that trailer, I actually got almost the exact movie that I thought I was getting, and I thought I was going to get some twists, and I really didn't.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it's not, I mean, there's like a semi-twist. No, you're right. It's not like a big twist movie. It's pretty... But God, there's so many good parts in it. So many good performances in it.
I was shocked. My friend who didn't like it said he didn't think that Hemsworth's character was good. And I was like, Hemsworth's character, his acting was great.
He's hilarious.
He is hilarious, but also he's incredibly thematically relevant.
Yes.
Because there's the whole idea about making choices and everything sort of like the idea of binary choices. Yes or no, good or evil, God or no God. And then that goes back to the first scene in the movie of California or Nevada.
Yeah.
And it's like it's really thematically dense, and I loved it for that. But
I don't see. To your point, like as far as what's the lesson to be learned here? What's the message of the movie? I mean, I don't know. I wasn't like super wrapped up in that. I was just looking at each character as their own. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a very character-driven...
Absolutely.
You know.
And if you're looking at it in that regard, I think you'll like it more.
Correct. I would agree.
But in the same vein, it becomes more of almost like a disjointed movie, because you've got these disparate characters and they all work on their own, but they don't coalesce to like a whole film that necessarily has like a point almost.
I thought they did.
It has a point, but it's kind of unclear. And
I can tell. Let me say this. I haven't seen The Hateful Eight, but I've seen all the Tarantino movies up until then for a long time.
Right.
This is better than it's not better. I liked it better than anything of his that I've seen. Since like the first Kill Bill.
Really?
Probably. Yeah, but I can understand those are better films. This one just did something for me. I thought it was really good.
I
like the redemption of like Jeff Bridges' character and just all that shit was great.
Yeah.
The singing scenes with what's her name, the African American woman.
Yes, she was.
Were great.
She was just great.
The music in general was really good.
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of loved this.
There were just moments that I loved, but I didn't love the whole thing. But I mean, you're a B. I'm like a
B plus something.
I'm like a C plus B minus.
Yeah. But it's funny because I'd give this like a B, but I'm more excited to watch this than like A Star Is Born Again or a lot. Like this might be on my like top films of 2018 list at the end of the year, even though it won't have a higher grade than some of the movies that I liked it better than.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's weird.
I understand that because you're saying as a film, you understand the flaws that it has that the better films don't. You just liked it more.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm like a C plus B minus.
One could say it's this year's Greatest Showman.
I actually did. I didn't really have problems with Greatest Showman. Like that's kind of the thing is like, that's just a clean narrative. And that's why I like this one is like, and I wish it had done better at the box office because it's a well-made original
I'm shocked
movie.
that it didn't from the trailers and shit. Like people didn't want to see this. I don't know. It's just odd to me.
I sort of wonder how, like, I wonder the reach of the trailers. You know what I mean?
Right. Like everybody doesn't go see movies like we do all the time. I remember we were at a movie when we saw the trailer for this. We had never even heard of this. And we were both like, whoa, that looks really fucking good.
Yep. Do we want to get into spoilers?
I mean, but I don't even know if we need to say much more on the movie. I mean,
I just wanted to talk specific bits that I really liked.
Yeah.
I really liked, at the end when Bill Pullman's son dies.
Yeah.
That
was a great scene.
It was a great scene. I was a little shocked that they killed Hemsworth. Like I knew that they kind of had to like do it, but like it was shocking. Also, what's his name's death at the beginning or near the beginning?
Oh, Ham.
Yeah.
Well, it sucked because I was like, I was liking this character.
I really liked him.
You gotta have the balls to kill off a character.
Yes,
you know.
Yes. And I liked him. But Lewis Pullman's death, he dies right on the line between California and Nevada. And when Hemsworth shows up, he's walking on the line. They make a point of cutting to the line a lot. And that was the thing where I was like, I feel like this movie has so much to say, and it's not like I feel like that's the most basic one. Then there's the whole like film of like what maybe could have been like JFK or something.
No, he was dead. I looked that up because that was bothering me.
Okay.
Because I know it doesn't matter who it is,
and that's kind of the point.
Yeah, that's the point is that it doesn't matter. But he was dead like 5 years before they said it was filmed.
Oh,
so the theory is it was Martin Luther King Jr. That's the theory, but it does again, he did that as a troll job for the audience because he knows they're wondering who it is.
Exactly.
And it could be nobody. It doesn't really matter.
And that's the thing is like that was so great.
Yes. Complete. And I knew they weren't going to show you who it was. I just knew it. It just seemed like one of those things like, they want you to really want to know who's on that tape, but it doesn't really matter to what's happening with these characters.
That's kind of
why would they even tell you?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Well, that was sort of the thing. Is like I actually, as a viewer, never cared who was on the tape. So that mystery didn't bother. The mystery that actually, the one that's unsolved in the movie that actually bothers me is who are the owners and who is getting this information. I know it probably is just another circumstance of like just another person in power. It
doesn't matter, yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
But I kind of wish,
Well,
like, I
kind
wish
of
I
set something up though, where like they could make another one of these, and it could be about
based on how much it made. They won't.
It doesn't sound like it, but I mean, maybe that was their idea. I mean, I don't know how much this cost to make.
Right.
I would assume that the actors took,
It's a great looking movie.
It is. It really is. It's really neat. The hotel, like it's one of those. It's one of those settings where you feel like if you were dropped in there right now, like you would know your way around.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's the nice thing about setting it in one central location.
Yes,
you really know everything. But yeah, I mean, like the whole like Lewis Pullman dying on the line. I don't know quite what they're trying to say.
That's another one where it's like I wasn't concerned with that really. I like to me what's his name walking the line, Chris Hemsworth.
Right.
I mean that could just be an artistic like the shot looks cool.
It could have been, but I feel like I look at Drew Goddard and I'm like he's too smart. Everything you look at Cabin in the Woods and everything there like basically had a purpose. You know,
sure. I mean,
that's a well-made movie about the critique of horror films and horror fans,
right?
And it was really smart. And
overrated, but yeah,
well, that's fine. I liked Cabin in the Woods more because Cabin in the Woods was very clear. I understood what it was saying.
Yeah. Oh God, this blew. Like,
okay.
I don't even think there's a comparison.
Okay.
Although Cabin in the Woods, like. People thought it was scary. Like I went in, like people compared it to Scream. First of all, that was its big because it was like I
didn't find it scary at all.
Well, no, but people compared it to Scream because it was like almost like a parody of horror genre.
Right.
So I was like, oh, it's going to be like one of those. But the problem is, it's just all schlock and funniness to me. There's nothing serious in it.
That's kind of why I liked it, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Because like. I was not sold on it being a horror. In fact, like I watched the trailers and I was like, oh, it's going to be like a horror movie. And then you get in there and then like, boom, like they're talking about replacing the cabinets. And then like the scary music comes up and boom, Cabin in the Woods. And it's like all in blood.
I mean, it is funny.
And
I just
laughed.
recently watched it again.
Right.
It's pretty good. It's better. I felt better about it the second time I watched it.
Because I don't look at it as like, I actually feel like it was a bit of a troll job on the audience to make the trailer look like it was a horror movie.
Sure. Well,
because,
no, but I mean, that's how you get people to see it.
Right.
Because horror does well.
Exactly. And I walk into the movie and I'm just like, this, you know, and I was in film school at the time, so I was learning about, you know, sort of like the male gaze and, you know, all these things. Sure. And I was like, wow, this is like, this person really understands like film stuff. And I was like, it was just tripping my trigger hard. But this one, the message was just more muddled and unclear.
I think you're looking for something that might not be there,
It
man.
might not be there. I mean, I looked at things like they're watching people in the rooms.
Sure.
And I feel like this guy, Drew Goddard, always has something to say about like voyeurism because he dealt with that in Cabin in the Woods.
In Cabin in the Woods, yeah.
And so I'm like, it just feels like I need to see it a second time and my grade might go up. But I just feel like there was so much there that I probably missed that either maybe cut a message because it feels like there's so much that he's trying to say. And
see, I don't feel that way.
Okay.
I just think it's a neat little fun movie about a bunch of different characters. And I don't think there's like this huge. I mean, the message to me was pretty clear with the ending. You know, like the redemption of the good characters, and you know, every single character had their own little, you know, lesson to be learned from.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't see it as.
Wait, what was John Hamm's? Did John Hamm have one?
John Hamm was kind of just like there to disguise you like he was going to be a real character. But,
that's true.
But he was like the foolhardy one who made the mistake of like, you know, they told him like, listen, don't fuck around.
Yeah.
You know, and he went and had to do it.
Yeah.
And he got his fucking head blown off or whatever.
Yeah. So maybe don't be too good is the message.
Right. Well, I mean,
maybe it is ride that line between good and bad.
Don't assume. Don't make assumptions. Like he didn't know what was going on with those two girls. I mean, obviously he would think she was being kidnapped, and I understand where he's coming from, but he was entirely wrong about what the motivation of the kidnapper
Right,
was.
maybe don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge,
I don't know.
you know.
And also, shout out to the girl who was being kidnapped, because that was kind of a disturbing little character.
She was.
Yeah.
I really did like seeing Hemsworth in a villain role.
Yeah, he was good.
I always like it when you got like these handsome, you know, Hollywood types and they break out of that mold.
Yeah,
you know?
I thought he was really, really good. But yeah, I mean that's it. I would highly recommend it, even though it's only a B.
I would recommend it. I mean, it's a level of, if you don't see it in theaters, at least rent it, because I think it's a good enough movie to
it's
see.
like a perfect movie to sit at home and watch.
Yeah,
sure.
But
I have a feeling this is one that like people are going to see at some point on HBO and be like, "Oh, that was a neat movie."
Yeah.
You know?
I have a feeling that my dad will love this movie. He loves Tarantino movies.
Oh, so this will be right up his alley.
Yeah.
It's kind of got that feel.
It's got that feel. It doesn't have the energy, though.
No,
it's
it doesn't
slower.
have the energy, and it doesn't have his style. But
Yes.
I like this style better because those movies now, or Tarantino movies, are getting to the point where it's like, it's another Tarantino movie. Feels like a Tarantino movie. Like I'm excited. I want to see him do something different.
I actually felt like Inglourious Bastards didn't feel like a Tarantino movie.
It did to me.
Some of the dialogue did,
yeah,
but the execution of the scenes felt there was a slower pace to the scenes, and the cinematography was different.
I haven't seen, like I said, I haven't seen The Hateful Eight.
And Hateful Eight is kind of the same thing.
But like to me, that one like kind of dropped Tarantino a bit.
Oh,
and
Inglourious?
Django really picked him up for me for a minute.
Django to me was like a return to form.
I love Django.
Yeah, Django
really
is a
do.
great movie. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
I mean, the reason I don't like this one as much is there are times when there are slow shots going on, and I'm just like, I get it.
Okay.
Like I like when
it was really long for the type of movie that this was.
Right.
It was long.
Like when we saw Lewis Pullman in The War, I was like, I get it. Like, show me a couple of these shots, that's fine. But there was a shot where it's just like him walking in the field, and I'm like, I fucking get it. And then it like goes out to the wide shot of like all the bodies, and it's like, I get it. And just I had that a few times. I'm like, just cut away.
Where they introduced that towards the end, like that should have been when everything was wrapping up.
Yes,
and it wasn't. It was like you're introducing a new thread to this.
That's why I look at it. I'm like, structurally, it's
I
weird.
can see why that's a problem. Yeah, I get it. I mean, I understand why people are going to say they don't like this. And not just because it doesn't have explosions in it.
It's just like I don't like it. I really, it's a problem in my brain where I want to like it. I just don't like it as much as I thought I would, and that's disappointing. But
all right,
let's get into First Man.
The main event, First Man.
Here we go.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Do you question whether the program's worth the cost in money and in lives?
You're down here and you look up and you don't think about it too much, but space exploration changes your perception. And it allows us to see things that we should have seen a long time ago.
We have serious problems.
We've got this under control.
You're a bunch of boys. You don't have anything under control.
Damien Chazelle and Ryan Gosling team again.
Yeah, so they were teamed up in La La Land. He also directed Whiplash, which was a brilliant
movie.
This is probably my least favorite of the three.
Agreed.
Yeah, I can't say I hated it. I thought it was good. We've talked about this before. I despise the unnecessary use of shaky cam, handheld camera bullshit.
And it doesn't bother me as much, but it did bother me near the end of this
Well,
film.
even at the beginning of it. I mean, that should be, you're in the fucking cockpit of the spaceship. That's where that should be used.
I actually really liked those shots in the cockpit.
Right. Yeah, no, it works great there. I mean, you're supposed to feel that way,
You felt claustrophobic.
And I will start by saying this. This was the most intense, like, spaceship, bullshit movie I've seen.
Right.
Like it was fucking intense. When they're in trouble in this,
Yeah.
I mean, they really did a good job in this of laying out how dangerous this mission was.
These people are heroes.
Yes.
Period.
Well, I mean, if you think it's a worthwhile cause, that's another
they
discussion.
do ask the question in the film. I liked that, though.
Yeah, so did I. But I, you don't really think about oh wait, how many total people died just trying fucked up shit because we were so obsessed with doing this.
Yes.
We were so obsessed with doing this that we'd oh well, it seems pretty safe. Seems like a safe idea. Let's try it.
Yep.
And I thought that was brilliant. Acting in it, I thought Claire Foy to me was the highlight of the movie. I think that she'll probably be on the back end of the best actress category.
Ryan Gosling is mastering acting without acting.
Yes. And I'm not going to say I hated him in this.
I like Gosling.
I like him too, but how could you? I mean, there's nothing. He's not risking anything here.
He's got. I say that somewhat jokingly because it is kind of ridiculous. Ever since Drive, he's been doing a lot of roles with very little talking.
Yes.
And I don't mind that because I actually do like
subdued,
the subdued, silent, pensive sort of character.
Well, plus you see the nice guys, and he can be kind of a jovial, kind of wacky guy. He was great in that,
and even in La La Land, he had way more
he's got
lines
charisma.
there. Yeah, so he can do it. But there were scenes in this where I really felt what he was feeling, and it is impressive that he kind of just do that with facial expressions,
the lack of facial expressions. It's almost like they took a freeze frame of his just stare and show. I mean, it's weird. He was good. I don't think he was fucking. I wasn't jumping for joy at his performance or anything.
No.
But he was good, and everyone in the movie is good.
Yes, exactly. Well, yeah, Jason Clarke.
He was one of my favorite characters, I think.
Yeah. God, there was somebody else in this movie that I was like, oh, you're in it, and I can't remember who it is now. But
just one of those guys.
Yeah. But, acting was good. Story was good.
The guy who played Buzz Aldrin, I really like that actor. He was in House of Cards. He's a good actor, and his character was very funny. Yeah, Ant-Man too. Ant-Man 1.
Ant-Man 1. Yeah. He's a good actor. I forget his name. Corey Stoll. That's his name.
He's a smart ass.
Yeah, he's a smart ass.
Which is juxtaposed to Neil Armstrong, who's very
sort of
about the business.
About the business, sort of knight in shining armor, and then you've got your jackass.
But one thing I liked back to Claire Foy's character, she plays the worried wife.
Yes.
But it's not overdone where it feels like over dramatic bullshit.
Right.
It's just a normal woman going through this situation, I thought.
I liked her because she just felt real. She just felt like a real person.
Yeah, she's good. She was at the star of that Unsane movie in the Asylum.
Okay.
And she's going to be in the next Dragon Tattoo movie.
Cool. She's
the girl with the dragon tattoo.
Sweet.
Yeah. So I think she might be an up and comer. One thing to note for people on this movie is it's not like Apollo 13 where it's very in depth as to okay, here's how we did this and whatever. It's not. It's way more of a personal, emotional story about the first man to walk on the moon.
This is it's not a story necessarily about getting to the moon. It's about, I would say, probably getting over death or grief.
Yeah, sure. Did you see this in IMAX?
I did.
How awesome is the IMAX lunar sequence at the end?
Yeah, that was
pretty mind-blowing shit.
In all honesty, Damien Chazelle just does a really good job with cinematography, in all of his movies.
It's so real seeming. How the fuck do they do that?
Yeah, it was great.
Well, and it's wild because it's not this big special effects sequence. Yep. It's just black screen, moon sand or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was pretty jaw-dropping, I would say.
I'd say one of my favorite sequences was when they went up and they docked with, they were testing the docking sort of just above the atmosphere before they go to the moon. And they get into a death spiral almost.
Yeah, one of the most intense sequences of any movie I've seen in a long time.
Because you can just it cuts to the outside, and you could just hear this of the spaceship, and he is just spinning. Oh my God.
Well, and they set it up earlier in the movie with the little thing they have to get on.
Yeah.
And spoilers, by the way. Let's just get into spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers.
But yeah, I mean, he gets brought in. Well, first off, the movie starts, his little girl dies of a brain tumor or whatever.
Sad.
Not something we typically think about with Neil Armstrong. But,
No.
But yeah, then, he just kind of continues working.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys where it's like, all right, well, I still got a life to live. This is how I'm going to deal with it.
Yep. He had a nice little breakdown in his office alone.
Yes.
But beyond that, like, doesn't share it with his wife.
No, he's just dealing. He doesn't want to talk about it with his coworkers.
Years later.
Yeah.
Years later. He still doesn't talk about it.
Well, yeah, when they moved to Houston or whatever,
Yeah.
like nobody in the neighborhood that he's met, because they
Yeah.
all live on like a camp. It's kind of like a military base type thing.
Yeah.
Nobody really wants to talk about it, or he doesn't want to talk about it with anybody. Nobody really knows the story.
Yeah. Well,
you know?
because he was there because it goes from, 61 or 62 to 65. So 3 or 4 years. He doesn't talk about it then. Then it cuts to 68 and 69 or whatever.
Yep.
And he's still not talking about it even then.
I feel like, does he talk about it with Jason Clarke right before Apollo 1 blows up?
Yes.
Is that like, okay, I'll talk about it, and then,
He says one thing about my daughter really loved that swing.
Right.
And then it's amazing. And that's why I like the writing in this movie is it feels very real because he says, oh, she really loved that swing because he sees a swing in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, it's about time I go home now.
Right,
It's like
almost like, I said that out loud.
Yep, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's very human.
Yeah, he's trying.
Yep. I really liked him as Neil Armstrong. I liked Neil Armstrong in this movie. He felt like
the character was great.
He felt like a real guy to me.
The movie was good.
It was good.
It was really good. The technical aspect of the shaky cam is my I think it's fucking stupid. But that doesn't ruin the whole movie.
The music is pretty good too. Once they finally you get the triumphant music
soundtrack,
of them going into space. That was pretty good.
I mean, it's just so fucking crazy. It was very cool to see a movie that really played up how fucking crazy it is that we did this. There's a scene in it I love where his wife's basically like, you guys don't know what the fuck you're doing. Like, you're just playing with toys.
Yes, you're boys building models out of balsa wood.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it seemed. Everything they showed you, I mean, obviously, I'm no expert on this topic, but from what it seemed like, they really didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Well, yeah.
And they were just obsessed with getting it done. Another scene I liked, also with the wife, was he's been chosen. He's going to go up in Apollo 11 or whatever. Yeah. And his wife's basically like, what are you going to tell the kids? Like,
he's
no,
like,
you have to tell the kids.
He keeps packing. He's like, oh, I'm packing. No, you're wasting time before the car shows up.
Yep. And then she makes him sit down and tell the kids.
Yeah.
And the way he does it is like it's another business meeting.
Yeah.
He's like, well.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
And he hasn't said it. He hasn't said that he might not come back.
Right. And the kids accept it. Like, they act like adults about it.
I loved the way that the two kids deal with it because, the younger one, he
doesn't really get it.
He doesn't really get it, so he gives his dad a hug. And then the older one, who really understands and is kind of becoming he's probably hitting 12, 13 or whatever at the time. And he gives him a handshake. He's entering I understand and I respect.
Right. Well, I would too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fucking crazy, but yeah, very, very. It was a good movie.
I really liked. Because every time there's a death in this, he's sort of brought back to the death of his daughter Karen.
Sure.
And I liked sort of what it had to say about I feel like most people have that one death in their life that shattered them, or they had a really hard time dealing with.
No, if they haven't, they will.
Exactly. Yeah. Everybody's going to have that one. And in this, every time there's a death, he comes back to it. And it's that feels so real to me because I know people like that who they have a hard time handling death because they've never gotten over that one. And it was good. It was a good movie.
Now, what would you give this for a grade?
I'd probably see the thing is I'd probably give it a B.
Yeah, me too.
But
I'm leaning towards B or B plus.
It's because it's not great, because it almost feels a little cookie cutter in some ways.
It's not going to have like the lasting feeling of like Apollo 13 or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
it just isn't.
Yeah, and it's got one of those things too where it's a little safe. It almost feels like Oscar bait to me, if I'm honest.
It will be nominated in just about every category, I would imagine.
And
not that it doesn't deserve it.
And no, and I will say, like, I respect the hell out of astronauts. My dad worked for NASA when.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This was back in the late 70s, early 80s. But yeah, he worked for them. So I've always had a lot of respect for NASA. But despite that, I feel like this movie is pretty safe.
It is.
And I have more respect for Bad Times at the El Royale for really being original, trying to do more things. So I think it's a better, more cohesive movie, but it's so much safer.
That I like. I mean, people are going to give me shit, but I walked out of the weekend. That was the one I liked better. And not because I thought it was a better movie.
Right.
I just liked it better.
Right. I liked what it did to my brain more than
First Man.
First Man. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I
love movies that make me think.
I get that this was like emotional, and yeah, it was good acting, like good story. It tugged the heartstrings a bit, but I mean, we see a lot of this. I mean, just last weekend we saw that Star is Born.
Yeah.
That's way more emotionally affecting than this.
I was gonna say you've got a person who has a daughter die at the age of like 2 or whatever it was, 1, and I felt more for Bradley Cooper as a tortured rock artist.
Let me ask you something here on this.
Okay.
So Ryan Gosling was like really detached. Kind of, he was playing a role where he had emotional turmoil inside, but
yes,
did that lessen the effect of the feeling sad emotional aspect of this movie for you?
I feel like it makes it more real because that's what men do in culture. You're not allowed to.
Okay.
I mean, you're allowed to cry and people want you to do it, but
I don't know if your daughter dies.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's like a thing that people will understand. Now, if you're still crying about it 8-10 years later, people might give you shit, or not give you shit, but they'll just be like, well, fucking deal with it, man. But it was realistic, but you never had that emotional release with him.
That's what I mean. Like he was playing, it was so subdued. It was almost too, like perfect, wooden. Not wooden like you're a bad actor, but the character was like just a slate, just nothing there,
The perfect time to have done it would have been when he came back and he was in quarantine and his wife was there and they're separated by the glass. That's when you have
He has the breakdown.
He has the breakdown and he says like, I left a piece of Karen there or something like that.
Okay, so now that we're out in spoilers, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Do you know, did that actually happen?
Has
anybody looked this up?
I don't know.
Because I saw it with a buddy who like knows a ton about fucking like space and all that shit. He's like Mr. Expert.
Okay, Mr. Expert.
Like seriously, he knows like during the movie he's like, oh, that's gonna be the X-15, blah blah blah.
Right,
and then,
right.
They'd say what it was, whatever. He's like, I've never heard that. So it's possible that it's like some information nobody knew. I can't imagine they made that up for dramatic effect. That just seems
too big.
Yeah,
that's too big. Also, that controversy about the flag.
Yeah, like, I want the flag planting scene.
I didn't care because I was like, the flag's still there. It's in the background.
Come on, though.
We got the big moment, which was the one small step for man.
Sure, but
whatever.
Oh, come on, though. Fucking boom. Put that fucker in there. They good, and especially since the movie. And I'm not saying like, oh, this movie offended me because they didn't have it.
There are some people that
goes out of its way to be like, yeah, the fucking Russians. Like we got to beat the Russians. Boom. I mean, that's a huge moment in American history.
It is my thing about it is it's a huge moment for American history, but it's not a huge moment for Neil Armstrong as a human being. You know what I mean? And it's
taken 3 seconds of screen time.
I get it. I also get the choice not to have it in there.
Hold on. How do you know? You don't think Neil Armstrong felt some sort of pride in slamming that fucking flag into the moon?
Okay, that's true. What I'm saying is for the story that they were trying to tell about him, it wasn't about that for him. You know?
See, to me, they made a purposeful douchey move because they know everybody's offended with America right now, and maybe rightfully so. But come on, plant the fucking flag in the movie.
See, and because you're right, intent matters.
That was an intentional move. No, they had a meeting. There's no fucking way they were just like, oh, well, we didn't put the flag in the script, but it was not a big deal that we didn't put the flag there. There's no way that's how this happened.
Well, all I'm saying is that there's a chance that Damien Chazelle is like, well, it's about him getting over the death of his daughter, and that kind of like this triumphant thing about planting a flag sort of conflicts with that. And if that's the intent, I'm like, okay, cool. Now, if it is like, we got to appeal to a bigger market, we got to appeal to the liberals, and we got to appeal and if that's what it is, then I do have a problem. I don't think it ruins the scene. I don't think it ruins the movie, but I have a problem with the idea behind it. You know what I'm saying?
It's just dumb.
I'm
sorry.
Is.
Well, and like I said, okay, to your point, if that were the case, then why even waste your time with all the discussion of like the Russians trying to beat us there, and like the one Russian does the spacewalk before we do, and they show the character like fucking pissed because he was about to do it.
Hold on, it's about the idea of like you have to set up the situation that he finds himself in, because that dictates like how much money they're spending. The whole space race dictates everything in this movie.
And I'm saying that, I mean, you can say this is a personal story, but I mean, that's one thing that Neil Armstrong did do. It's one of the like hallmark. It's amazing that our flag is sitting up there.
It is pretty fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's badass. I want to see the badass scene. I want to see the director's cut.
Damien Chazelle puts it in.
Yeah, where we get to see him slam, and maybe he says, "Booyah, bitches," and slams the flag into the ground.
Like he's fucking Cyborg.
Hey,
booyah!
Yeah, a little artistic license.
I will say the thing about leaving a memento of your daughter on the moon is maybe one of the greatest things I've ever.
It was awesome.
It's fucking great.
Yeah, no, it didn't take away from the movie that the flag scene wasn't in there, but it would have been nice to see.
Right,
but no, that is interesting because it is great. But if they made it up for the movie, I feel like it's going to lose something for me.
Oh, I think so too,
you know
because it becomes a
saying?
little emotionally manipulative at that point. Other thing that I just want to say, it's somewhat related, but I look at this and I'm like, people who think like the moon landing was like a hoax and all that shit, I find it actually really disrespectful after watching this movie, seeing all the people that died for this. I find it
100%.
And my dad has always had a huge issue because he's like, I fucking worked there. I know the fucking math.
The best is how Buzz punched that guy in the face.
Did he punch? No, I didn't.
Like old man Buzz Aldrin got
really?
pissed at some guy and punched him.
Good for him, man. Like, and there are things that they proved. Like I listened to Joe Rogan on it, and I don't think Joe Rogan is exactly the best person to listen to on conspiracy things.
But no, I think he turned on the moon.
He did turn on it, but he's like, there are things that aren't fully explained. Like, why are the photos kind of
guess
like?
What? You'll never be it. Yeah.
Well,
it's
and I'm
just
like,
different.
And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, but he also brings up the counterpoint, which is like, they took photos at NASA on Earth, like promotional photos, so that like the people would not be against going to the moon and spending taxes on the moon. So it's like he already knows this.
Yes.
And yes, some of them were used to be like, oh, look at what we did on the moon. And it's like, yeah, because they were better photos. Did you see the fucking photos that we got on the moon?
To your point, I 100% agree that it's offensive. I think there's a lot of conspiracy theory shit that gets offensive to me. Like the 9/11 ones too. It's like, I'm sorry, 3,000 fucking people died and you think you figured this out in your fucking mom's basement? Like, okay, so every engineer who has gone against everything you fucking said, and thinks, is basically saying like, no, this is what happened.
Right.
You're just gonna find that one who like agrees with you.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole thing was all actors and like,
or the Sandy Hook Alex Jones thing.
Correct. Same
like,
thing.
Fuck
it's all
you.
Stupid. Yes. Correct.
Some people, I don't know. It's a problem.
It's their thing.
It's
their thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know somebody who they just want to believe in conspiracy theories. Like they don't even care. They don't even care how ridiculous it is.
And yeah, if you're a conspiracy theory person who listens to our show, please don't get offended.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I
don't have necessarily a huge problem with all conspiracy theories because Yeah, government
No,
lies.
I think there's typically like, yes, there's shit we don't know, but typically the basic like Occam's razor, the most logical, easiest thing to believe is usually the truth. And typically that's the true story.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean? Like.
Exactly.
Although that Room 237, did you ever see that?
No.
It's about like the crackpot conspiracy theorists who love The Shining and think that like Kubrick was putting hidden messages in The Shining.
Oh, right.
And one of the big ones is Kubrick directed the moon landing.
Right, yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I know.
But it's bullshit.
I know about Kubrick directing the moon landing.
He could have pulled it off, man.
Probably. But yeah, I think that's the end of the episode, right?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, go see those 2 movies. Next week is Halloween.
Yeah, go see Halloween. Let's bring down that Venom record.
Please, Christ.